All right, hello and welcome. So if you're a Nissan owner and you're staring at that dreaded check engine light, yeah, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to crack one of the most common and, let's be honest, frustrating error codes out there, P2A00. Let's just dive right in and figure out what it means and, more importantly, how to fix it.
Oh man, that glowing check engine light. It's a familiar sight for any driver, right? It's kind of amazing how one tiny little symbol on your dashboard can cause so much anxiety. It's basically your car's way of screaming, "Hey, something's not quite right over here." But, it's not very specific about what that something is.
And the code we are tackling today is this one right here, P2A00. You've probably plugged in your trusty code reader, and this is the cryptic message it's given you. This little string of letters and numbers, well, it holds the key to the whole problem. So, what does P2A00 actually mean for your Nissan? Is this a big deal? Is it going to be expensive to fix? Look, don't worry. We're about to demystify this whole thing and turn that feeling of uncertainty into a solid plan. Okay, first things first, let's decode this error. We're going to get right into it, from code to cause, and translate all that technical jargon into plain, simple English. All right, so here's the official textbook definition. P2A00 means O2 sensor circuit range/performance bank 1 sensor 1. What does that mean? Basically, your engine's computer is getting a really unusual reading from a key exhaust sensor. The signal it's seeing is just weird. It's not what it's supposed to be. The best way to picture this sensor? Think of it like the engine's nose. Seriously. Its whole job is to sit in the exhaust and sniff the fumes coming out. It's checking to see if the air-to-fuel mix is just right. Is it running rich with too much gas or lean with too much air? That nose tells the computer exactly what's happening, so it can make tiny adjustments to keep everything running perfectly. Okay, so now we need to meet our O2 sensor. And to solve this mystery, we've got to find the right one, because location is everything here. The code itself is basically our treasure map. So here's the deal. Your car has a couple of these O2 sensors. Our code, P2A00, is pointing specifically to sensor 1, which you'll also hear called the upstream sensor. That's the one before the catalytic converter. It gets the first sniff of the exhaust right as it comes out of the engine. Sensor 2 is the downstream one, after the converter, and its job is just to check if the converter is working. But for us, our problem child is definitely sensor 1. Then there's the bank 1 part of the code. So what's that all about? Well, it's pretty simple. If you've got a bigger engine, like a V6 or V8, it's split into two sides, or banks. Bank 1 is just the side of the engine that has cylinder number 1. And hey, if you've got a 4-cylinder engine, good news. You've only got one bank, so you can totally ignore this part. All right, so we know what the code means. We know where to find the sensor. So now let's line up the most common culprits. Who's really to blame for this P2A00 code? There are a handful of things that could be going on here. A lot of the time, honestly, it's just a bad O2 sensor. It got old, it gave up. But it could also be an exhaust leak somewhere near the manifold that lets in extra air, which completely messes up the sensor's readings. And beyond that, you could be looking at damaged wires, a vacuum leak, maybe even some issues with your fuel system or another sensor. And check this out. This really tells the story. The numbers don't lie. A whopping 60% of the time, the O2 sensor itself is the problem. Then you've got leaks, exhaust, or vacuum at about 25%. This is so important because it tells us where to start looking. We're not just going to guess and start throwing money and parts at it. We're going to be smart about it. Okay, we've got our list of suspects. Now it's time to start the real investigation. I'm going to give you a step-by-step diagnostic checklist to follow. Okay, and you want to do these in order. Step 1, just use your eyes. A simple visual inspection. Look at the sensor. Look at the wires connected to it. Do you see anything that looks burnt, melted, frayed, or super corroded? Step 2, check for exhaust leaks. Get your ears involved. Listen for any hissing sounds near the engine, or look for black soot marks right where the exhaust connects. That's a dead giveaway. Step 3 is hunting for vacuum leaks. Look all around the intake manifold for any cracked or disconnected hoses. Now, if you do all of that and you find nothing, the prime suspect is the sensor itself. It's probably time for a new one. All right, let's talk about the resolution. You've done the hard work, you've found the culprit, you've made the fix. So you're all done, right? Time to celebrate? So you've found the culprit and you've replaced the part. Maybe you swapped in that new Bank 1 Sensor 1. You cleared the code and that annoying check engine light is finally off. And man, that's a great feeling. But are you finished?
Because with a Nissan, if you want that light to stay off, there is one more absolutely crucial step that you cannot skip.
And this right here is the pro tip that will save you a massive headache. On a lot of Nissans, after you change the part, you have to perform an engine adaptive relearn. Just think about it for a second. Your car's computer has been living with that bad sensor for a while, maybe weeks, maybe months. It's been adjusting and compensating for those bad readings. It has literally learned bad habits. So just putting in a new sensor isn't enough. You have to go in with a good scan tool and basically tell the computer, hey, forget everything you thought you knew. We have good data now. You have to clear out that old junk.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is straight from the experts. You can see the quote right here. After replacing the sensor, you often have to do this relearn to clear out the old fuel trim data. Seriously, skipping this step is the #1 reason that light pops right back on a few days later, and you're left scratching your head.
So you see, with a logical approach, this P2A00 code is really more of a puzzle than a reason to panic. Once you understand what your car is trying to tell you and follow a clear path, you can totally handle it.
So now that you've tackled this and you've got this knowledge in your back pocket, the only question is, what's your next project?